When considering medications like Tadalafil, which is commonly prescribed for conditions such as erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia, many people wonder whether all brands of the drug are truly the same. Is there a meaningful difference between the branded reference product and the various generics available on the market? This question is important not only for patients seeking effective treatment, but also for healthcare providers who want to ensure their patients receive the best possible care. To begin with, Tadalafil is the generic name of a drug originally developed under the brand name Cialis by Eli Lilly and Company. As with many medications, after the original patent expires, other pharmaceutical manufacturers are allowed to produce and sell generic versions. These generic formulations must meet strict regulatory standards to be approved for use, but the question remains, are they truly equivalent to the original reference brand? Let's start by understanding what is meant by reference and generic drugs. The reference product is the original brand name medication that was first approved by regulatory authorities, such as the FDA in the United States or the EMA in Europe. It undergoes extensive clinical trials to demonstrate safety, efficacy, and quality. Once the patent protection expires, other companies can produce generics, which are essentially copies of the reference drug. Generics must demonstrate bioequivalence, meaning they deliver the same amount of active ingredient into the bloodstream in the same time frame as the original brand. Regulatory agencies have rigorous requirements for generic drugs like Tadalafil. Before a generic can be approved, manufacturers must prove that their product contains the same active ingredient in the same strength, dosage form, and route of administration as the reference brand. They must also show that their drug is bioequivalent, which is generally tested through clinical studies comparing the absorption and action of the generic to the brand. In most cases, the generics must also meet the same standards for quality, purity, and manufacturing practices. Despite these regulations, patients may notice differences between brands. Generic Tadalafil may look different, with variations in color, shape, or markings. These visible differences are due to inactive ingredients, known as excipients, which are used to bind the tablet, coat it, or give it a particular appearance. While excipients are supposed to be inert and not affect the drug's action, some individuals may have sensitivities or allergies to certain fillers or dyes. Other than these minor differences, the therapeutic effect of the drug should be the same. One common concern among patients is whether generics are as effective as the reference brand. Multiple large-scale studies have shown that generic drugs perform equivalently to their brand name counterparts when it comes to treating medical conditions. For Tadalafil, clinical trials and post-market surveillance have consistently demonstrated that generics provide the same benefits in terms of efficacy, duration of action, and safety profile. The active ingredient works in the same way, inhibiting an enzyme called PDE5 to improve blood flow and produce the desired therapeutic effect. That said, there are rare instances where a patient might feel that a generic is not working as well as the brand or is causing unexpected side effects. In most cases, these experiences are related to the excipients or psychological expectations, rather than to differences in the active drug. If a patient experiences a real difference, they should speak to their healthcare provider, who can review the specific brand and consider alternatives. Another aspect to consider is cost. Generic Tadalafil is typically much less expensive than the branded reference product. This price difference is a major benefit for patients, especially those who require long-term or regular treatment. The lower cost is due to generic manufacturers not having to invest in the initial research and development or clinical trials that the original brand did. Instead, they must only prove bioequivalence and meet regulatory standards, allowing them to offer the drug at a fraction of the original price. With so many generic brands available, how do you choose which one to use? In most cases, pharmacies will dispense the generic that is covered by a patient's insurance or the one they have in stock. Some patients may have a preference for a specific manufacturer, particularly if they've had good experiences in the past. Pharmacists and healthcare providers can offer guidance, but generally, all approved generics should provide the same therapeutic benefit. It's also important to note that not all generic drugs are manufactured to the same standards worldwide. Regulatory oversight can vary from country to country, and while the United States, Europe, and other regions have strict quality controls, some parts of the world may have less rigorous enforcement. For patients concerned about quality, it's advisable to obtain medications from reputable sources and to consult with their healthcare provider about trusted brands. Occasionally, patients may encounter counterfeit or substandard medications, especially when purchasing drugs from unregulated online sources. These counterfeit products may contain incorrect doses or even harmful substances. To avoid this risk, always use licensed pharmacies and avoid purchasing medications from unknown or suspicious online sellers. When it comes to side effects, both brand name and generic Tadalafil can cause similar adverse reactions. Common side effects include headache, indigestion, back pain, muscle aches, flushing, and stuffy or runny nose. These are related to the active ingredient itself and not the brand. Rare but serious side effects may include changes in vision or hearing, or priapism, a prolonged and painful erection. If these occur, medical attention should be sought immediately. In summary, all approved brands of Tadalafil, whether generic or reference, are required to have the same active ingredient, strength, and therapeutic effect. They are held to high standards by regulatory authorities to ensure safety, efficacy, and consistency. The main differences lie in appearance, price, and occasionally in the choice of inactive ingredients. For most patients, generic Tadalafil offers a reliable, effective, and affordable alternative to the brand name product. If you have concerns about which brand to use, consult your healthcare provider or pharmacist, who can help you make the best choice for your individual needs. Ultimately, the most important factor is to take your medication as prescribed and to obtain it from reputable sources. Whether you choose a brand name or generic version of Tadalafil, you can be confident that, when properly regulated, these medications will help you achieve the desired therapeutic outcomes. With the widespread availability of generics, quality erectile dysfunction treatment is more accessible than ever before, allowing more people to benefit from this important medication.